Hey everyone, it's Nick with Us vs. Herd. Thanks so much for joining this video, watching this video. If you're new here, please hit subscribe. Today was kind of a crazy day in the markets here. SPX hit, S&Ps hit all new highs. Amazon was up 65 points. Square was up 6%. I mean, it's just nuts. I mean, Tesla was kind of a dog here. Took some profits today. Wasn't a humongous day, but definitely was a great day. Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing? But let's get to the point here. Oh, if you haven't joined our options trading group, the link is below. I posted all my trades in there today, profits and new trades and what I did. So join our options trading group. It's below. Hey, Jeff, what's going on, man? We're streaming today. If you have any questions, definitely ask them at any time. But one of the major questions I get is, hey, how much do I need to start trading options with? Can I start with $100? Can I start with $500? Can I start with $300? And I'm just going to make it really easy. This video is going to be about $500. So kind of want to get to that if you're a new trader. So this is more for the beginning trader, kind of what to expect, because there's a lot on the internet and it's not necessarily known what do you need. And kind of the brokerages are kind of shady. Hey, I'll go. Thanks for joining today, man. Definitely appreciate you subscribing to this channel. You know, a lot of people don't know there's different tiers of options trading, let alone different types of brokerage accounts. So there's two different types of brokerage accounts. There's cash and there's margin. And cash, you can have any amount in there. And here I have, this is actually TD Ameritrade's like options upgrade form, which you got to fill out, and it's kind of daunting, and a lot of people get pretty intimidated. I mean, they ask you for everything: how much money you make, what's your liquid net worth, where do you work, what's your cell phone number, you know, what's your employer's name, street. I mean, it gets crazy, and the reason why this is because people, especially on margin, if they have a margin account, what people will do is they'll just gamble their money and then get margin called and not pay, so they kind of gotta track you down. But we'll get to that a different day. But today I just wanted to talk about how much money you need when trading options, and this is going to be around $500 when starting an account with $500. With $500, you're not going to be able to have a margin account. So what that means is you're going to only be able to write covered calls, and a standard cash is just to purchase options outright. If you don't know what covered calls are, definitely keep paper trading. You know, you definitely want to understand what that is. But basically, covered calls, if you own 100 shares of stock of a certain stock, you can write calls against it, or cash secured puts as well. You need a margin account now for creating spreads. So if you want to do vertical call spreads, vertical put spreads, iron condor, that kind of thing, you need a margin account. What a margin account is with most brokers is they need $2,000. Yeah, Robinhood does make it easy. I actually have them on one of my tabs here, which we'll go over. You'll need a margin account. With a margin account, get approved for a margin account, you need at least $2,000 in your account. And what that means is that's the same for TD Ameritrade, E-Trade, Schwab, and all those other guys. Most people, you don't get a margin account without having at least $2,000 in there. Yep, at least $2,000 for margin trading on TD Ameritrade. On Robinhood, there's also different strategies as well. I know there's a lot of Robinhood channels that are a lot of Robinhood traders that are subscribed to this channel, and a lot of people don't know this, but Robinhood has tiers too. This is tier level 2 designation, allows you to do long calls, long puts. So that means you can just buy a call outright, buy a put outright, cover calls, and cash covered puts, which we talked about before. You can't do. You're not going to be short the stock because Robinhood doesn't do short. Doesn't allow you to short stock. That's why it has cash covered puts. So you have to have the cash in your account to back it up as collateral if you go against that. One thing I did want to cover is Tier 3 allows you to write uncovered options with a margin account, and that means naked options selling, which is, if you're a beginner trader, you definitely probably shouldn't do that. It's pretty high risk. But customers assigned level 3. So Robinhood has level 3 designation, which allows you to do spreads. So some people have messaged me saying, hey, I got access to Robinhood, but I don't have access to creating spreads. And my suggestion for you is just to hit up support and say, hey, what do I need to do to become eligible to be level 3 so I could do spreads and iron condors and credit spreads and all that. And, there's a lot of ways to make money with options, and there's different times to use those strategies. Like sometimes you just want to buy, like right now IV is really low because the stock market's just been going up, so I've been buying more options. But when IV is high, I don't like to buy options. I like to sell options, so that's why I'll create the spreads. Or on like super expensive stocks, like I don't want to risk a lot, I'll create spreads on Amazon, Google, that kind of thing. I'll go through that in a minute. But $500, you're going to have to be very, very careful in terms of with your TD Ameritrade or E-Trade. I kind of go through the fees here. With TD Ameritrade, they charge you $6.95 per trade plus 75 cents per contract. So it's super expensive. So, for someone that has not a lot of money in accounts, even if you have $1,000 in your account, and let's say for beginning traders, I know from experience when you first start getting trading, you want to make a lot of trades. You want things to happen fast, and you're moving and shaking, and then realize, hey, after 10 trades, it just cost you $100 after 10 trades. On TD Ameritrade, the pricing is the same on E-Trade actually as well, $6.95, unless you do 30 or more trades per quarter. You can get these lowered, but you have to have some kind of leverage. Like I got my TD Ameritrade account lowered based on my volume I did, and also I told them that I was going to leave for Tastyworks. It's $1, so they matched that. But for the best brokerages, obviously, if you don't have a big account or you don't have a lot of money, so if it's $500 or less or $1,000 or less, you're not going to want to pay a lot in commission. And the two places right now that offer the best fees, Tastyworks, it's $1 per contract. There's no per trade fee, and there's $0 to close it. This is definitely the best pricing for a paid platform. Obviously, Robinhood is free. So they got that going on for them, but there is, I have other videos on this channel that explain, why Robinhood's not always the best broker for options trading, especially if you're looking to do volume and that kind of thing. You're looking to get information. Robinhood is good for the beginning trader, but I wouldn't say it's the best trader. I definitely would pay this $1 if I have a small account versus going with Robinhood. I do trade on Robinhood from time to time, and I do show my gains and my losses on that, but I like my favorite traders, Thinkorswim and TD Ameritrade, and I think that Tastyworks, and I think that I would still be. I probably would have just gone with Tastyworks if Thinkorswim didn't lower my commissions on that. But the thing is, commissions eat into your P&L. They eat into a lot of your profits. So if you have $500, you want to go with somebody that is not too expensive. And Tastyworks and Robinhood are probably your best options for the newer trader. I would definitely pick Tastyworks over Robinhood, but that's another story. The other thing is the options cost what they cost, and if $500, you don't have like a lot of room for mistakes. So you don't have a couple bad trades, you're down to $200, and the amount of money that you have, the less you have, it's harder to get more of. So it takes more time to get back up to. So if you had $500 and you went down to $200, it's gonna take you a lot longer to get back up to $500, because what's the chance you're gonna be able to double $200? You can and you will, but as a newer trader, I definitely say please paper trade before you put your own money to risk. Yes, it's good to have trades, but you could paper trade through Thinkorswim. There's a paper trading here. I'm in the live trading run right now, but you can switch over to paper trade on their platform and start putting in trades and learning that way. The other thing is, when you have $500, you're going to be forced to trade a lot smaller. So you're gonna be forced to trading stocks that are not that expensive. Like you're gonna be looking at like Snap, which is not that exciting, AMD. You're not gonna probably be trading things like Tesla, where the options here, this here 345 is going to cost you $300, $345. You're not going to put that all in one trade, because if you do and it goes bad, you're gonna you're going to have some problems. Also, spreads, like if you want to do a spread here or an iron condor, they take a lot of buying power. But with $500, you're not going to be able to do spreads either. So you're going to be relying on buying and selling, and there's not always the opportunities to buy and sell options. So if you think that, hey, I want to go in there and just buy and sell options, that might not be the trade. That might not be the trade. The trade may be a credit spread or whatever the case is, iron condor. Buying and selling options is not the only strategy, and should be the only strategy that you should use in regards to the market. You'll be looking at AMD, and that kind of really forces you probably looking at stocks for $100 or less, and you're not going to want to risk it. You want to get these 20 cent puts here, or whatever the trade is or whatever your idea is, but you're not going to want to risk. So if you have $500, you're not going to want to risk $100. You're not going to want to risk $80. You're going to want to risk $10, $20 at a time. SPY is probably pretty good for that. But what I'm saying is, with $500, it's going to be hard for you to make money. You're going to have to be really on your toes about what you're trading, and you're gonna want to paper trade like crazy before that, and to feel comfortable to do a trade, because it's going to, I guarantee you may hit it big a couple times, but like I know a lot of people were trading AMD this week, and because the pricing went up so crazy, but if you look at AMD here, it went from 20 to 27. It's very easy. If you had calls in this, you couldn't lose. It was so easy to make money in this, like it was ridiculous. But this is not, if you understand, this is not an everyday thing. This does not happen every day. As you look in the last year, this has been a terrible chart. This is like, they were between 14 and 9 for the better part of a year, until they just broke out this past earnings. Like things like this don't happen all the time. And what happens is, Algo Hunter bought SPY calls for 6 cents, sold for 41 cents, and that's congrats. Yeah, and that's the kind of trades that you're going to want to do. However, we're in a crazy bull run right now, and trades like this, if you look, they don't happen like this. You have to really time it right. So that's why I say paper trade, so that way you know when to enter the market to get these kind of deals. And you also have to understand when good deals are taking place. So back to AMD. Things like this don't happen. Things like this don't happen every day, where you can make 1,000%, 1,500%, like nothing. Like some people in our options trading group, they made a lot of money, and they were some of their first time traders. But what you don't want is to have the misconception that you can repeat that. Like most times, I take options off at 100%. I take options off at 50%, because I know. This could easily, spike up to 27, and people saw that it dropped down to 25 the other day, like it was nothing. And this could easily drop down from 25 to 20, like. If they read a press release, a bad press release, or something happens overnight, it goes back to 20, back where support is. There's no support, nothing going on up here. It could build support here, which would be fine, and maybe next leg up to 30, or it could come crashing hard down to 20. But as a new trader, you're not gonna, with $500 in your account, you're not gonna want to risk your whole account on this. People that bought up here at 27 and now it's 25, you're kind of getting worried now. That's dangerous especially to put your whole account on. Now, if you made that money, protect those gains, because you could easily just lose that money over the next few months. It'll be a slow bleed. Kush Renjin wants to know, what are the thoughts of 222.50? Do you got calls or puts? Is the question. I don't know what you have, calls or puts, up or down. But, as a small trader, you're just going to want to trade $10, $20 at a time. And as you start winning more, you'll be able to grow your account and do it that way. But right now we're in a bull market, and people think that they're smarter than the market. And a lot of people, like if you look back on the year, SPY, we've had a massive bull run, but then one day it stopped, and you lost all that. 222.50 Apple. For me, it's hard to trade up here. 222.50. We've had, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green days in a row in Apple. It's hard for me to trade that. I've been doing strangles now on that, but let me look at this. Is it expiring? Is that Apple call expiring this week? 222.50. 220, 250, and how much did you pay? Is the question. Right now it's going for $1.49. These are up 294%. So if you were holding these from yesterday, I definitely would have got out of there. But if it's up 300% in a day, if they're September, these are only up 62%, which is still good. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter what your position is. From my standpoint, I take the gains because, like as I was saying earlier, let's go to that 15-minute chart on AMD. A lot of people. Let's go to the 15-minute chart. A lot of people were getting screwed here. I mean, they saw it rip up from 24.50 to 27.30, thought they were geniuses, and dropped down from 27. Like, let's go in on this here. Let's look at this. Went in from 27.30 all the way down to 25, and people. I guarantee there were people. This is a big green bar here. People were loading up. Like people were loading up from 26. This bar here. It dropped actually down from 26.31. And this is a 15-minute chart. So in a period of 30 minutes, it went from 26.31 to 27.31, which is a whole dollar for a $27 stock. I mean, what was that? Like 4%, 5%. I mean, that's crazy. And as you can see, the red bars just ate this up all day, and it still closed up, I think, for 3 or 4%. But I mean, if you were loading up in here, I mean, you're in trouble. It's not looking good. Do you think if Trump is going to smooth out NAFTA in China? I think the market stopped caring what Trump wants to do, because based on this, I mean, he's talking about deals with Canada, deals with Mexico, and people, we're going to survive the trade war, whatever that is. It was a bunch of craziness happened when they were first putting that on. But I don't like to try to pay too much attention to the news. It's important to pay attention to the news, but in terms of the overall market, it usually shakes it off. And right now we're in one of the longest bull markets of all time, and until it's hard to short the market right now. And knowing when things are going to happen, like go back to the S&Ps for the year. I've talked about this a couple times in the last week or so, because people keep hitting all new highs. This was going on for, let's go back 3 years here. Let me make myself smaller here. I mean, this bull run went from, 2016 all the way through 2017, and until the first major dip here. I mean, this is a pretty significant dip, but if you look here, I mean, like it could have went to 1800, and that would probably scare you. But if on the long-term chart, I mean, this isn't anything. We're shaking things off left and right. Favorite book to read regarding stocks? That's a good question. Benjamin Graham's book is good. But most of my information I got on here is not necessarily about stocks and fundamentals. I mean, that's important, but reading books about your mentors, like who's your mentor. Warren Buffett has a lot of books out, or books about him. It definitely gives away. Like, I think people think that trading's all like fundamentals and all that, but also it has a lot to do with mentality and controlling your emotions is really where a lot comes down to trading. Yes, you have to get a good price. Yes, you have to know what you're doing. But the mentality, not being greedy, stuff like that is really where you want to go. Thoughts on IGC and AQXP? I don't necessarily trade these. Yeah, I don't really trade these kind of stocks. Penny stocks, I don't really trade. As you can see here, most of the stocks that I trade are on my left-hand side here. I do have some stuff like TNDM, which is like a diabetes, and they went from $2 to $40. Stuff like that I've been looking into, but I don't really trade. I mostly trade options. I mostly trade options on stocks that are well known, Amazon, SPX, Microsoft, Alibaba, Chipotle, Tesla, Square. I don't really do the penny stocks, and there's really no need to with the stocks that we trade, because we make 100%, 1,000%, 500% all the time. There's no reason for me to trade penny stocks. So, I don't want to make this video too long. I appreciate all the people that are joining. Definitely appreciate everyone that's been asking questions. Thank you for joining this channel. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for joining our free options trading group. There's a link below if you're not yet a part of it, if you're joining in here. And if you have any questions, you watch this later, comment below. We'll definitely answer those for you.